Hello, Neo.
Who are you?
I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you. You have many questions, and though the process has altered your consciousness, you remain irrevocably human. Ergo, some of my answers you will understand, and some of them you will not. Concordantly, while your first question may be the most pertinent, you may or may not realize it is also the most irrelevant.
Why am I here?
Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the Matrix. You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision. While it remains a burden assiduously avoided, it is not unexpected and thus not beyond a measure of control, which has led you inexorably here.
You haven't answered my question.
Quite right. Interesting. That was quicker than the others.
Others? How many? Others? What? Answer me.
The Matrix is older than you know. I prefer counting from the emergence of one integral anomaly to the emergence of the next, in which case this is the sixth version.
5 ones before me. There are only 2 possible explanations. There were 5 ones before me. Either no one told me, or no one knows.
Precisely. As you are undoubtedly gathering, the anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations.
Control me! I'm gonna smash you to bits! You can't make me do anything like prick!
Choice. The problem is choice.
The first Matrix I designed was quite naturally perfect. It was a work of art, flawless, sublime, a triumph equaled only by its monumental failure. The inevitability of its doom is apparent to me now as a consequence of the imperfection inherent in every human being. Thus I redesigned it, based on your history, to more accurately reflect the varying grotesqueries of your nature. However, I was again frustrated by failure. I have since come to understand that the answer eluded me because it required a lesser mind, or perhaps a mind less bound by the parameters of perfection. Thus, the answer was stumbled upon by another, an intuitive program, initially created to investigate certain aspects of the human psyche. If I am the father of the Matrix, she would undoubtedly be its mother.
The Oracle.
Please. As I was saying, she stumbled upon a solution whereby nearly 99% of all test subjects accepted the program as long as they were given a choice, even if they were only aware of the choice at a near unconscious level. While this answer functioned, it was obviously fundamentally flawed, thus creating the otherwise contradictory systemic anomaly that, if left unchecked, might threaten the system itself. Ergo, those that refuse the program, while a minority, if unchecked, would constitute an escalating probability of disaster.
This is about Zion.
You are here because Zion is about to be destroyed. Its every living inhabitant terminated, its entire existence eradicated.
Bullshit.
Bullshit!
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses. But rest assured, this will be the 6th time we have destroyed it, and we have become exceedingly efficient at it.
Economy? What's going on, everybody? NBC The Game Live. I'm your host, Gabriel. Coming from you out on this full moon, happy full moon in Sagittarius from Taiwan. In the back rooms, the real District 13, Shaolin, all that good stuff. What's up, chat? Markella, good to see you, fam. Good to see you. Hank O'Flame, thank you for that. He says, I hope I don't crash out harder than Dennis. Oh, man. Sounds neat, Hank. Looking for your enemy. New enemy.
I don't know whether to shake your hand or kiss it or bow or what. I feel like breakdancing.
Donations are always welcome. Make this game almost more fun. Shout out to Ben in the gang. This is for you guys. It's very good to see you. Shout out Buddha in the building, bitch. Machiavellian in the manosphere. Pure gold, man. Today's episode, 5 traits that make women obsessed with you. Venus and Scorpio, Machiavellian rules for action, attraction, and action. Huh? This is the chamber we've been on for a minute. Machiavelli philosophy, one of the most practical philosophies I ever seen. Who else is here? I think I got everybody and the roll. Oh, Yolanda, what's up, sister? Mi hermana. Yeah, what's going on, Yolanda? You get it today. Shout out to Linda Rostan, who was born on July 15th, which makes her a Cancer sun sign. This is why, like Yolanda said, we feel this music in our bones, especially us Mexican Americans. It is needed. Please come into this country legally. However, bro, people's situations are fucked up, man. So I don't blame you if you have to do whatever it takes to get to the wilderness of North America, aka the best country in the world. People getting ripped apart at graduations should be moments of celebration. Sagittarius in the full moon today. Celebration, man. Shout out to the families that have been broken up and families that are trying to come back together. Peace, and love. What's up, Leopard Print? Full moon type shit for sure. Going hard on the chat. What's up, Lady Luck? My friend, good to see you. One for you, one for the homie. One for Cynthia. We got bam. Yeah. What's going on, family? All that good stuff. There she is right there. I believe it's going to be a strawberry moon. Oh, strawberry moon, huh? Wow. Good knowledge, my friend. Very good.
Hi everyone. Me llamo Mona, aka Sapgali.
Mickey said that next to the funk study. Junichi Shimodaira.
And I'm Walter, your host. If you grew up in LA like I did, then you kind of understand just how big of a deal Chicana and Chicana culture is out here. And it's a way for
No sound. Was that whole time not no sound? No, I think I had some sound. Was it muted the whole time? Well, no, I wasn't. But anyway, yeah, I was saying Chicano culture is crazy, man. He said we could send Mexicans to yeah, he must have heard what I had to say. To Taiwan. Yeah, man. I'm saying they're already in Japan, the culture is
people like myself to both honor the lives that we have here and the lives our parents left behind in Mexico. When I first heard that there were people copying Chicano culture in Japan, it seemed surreal. I really had no idea that this world could exist outside of LA. So I decided to go and find out how this spread so far away and why. Our first stop, the lowrider scene in Nagoya. Lowriders are iconic to the Chicano community in Los Angeles and were created in the 1940s. They came to represent rebellion, resilience, and beauty. And so I'm curious about how these cars got here.
日本にローライダーの文化っていうのが80年代ぐらいまでは誰も知らなくて、全くなかったんですけど。
That's Junichi. He's one of the godfathers of the Japanese lowrider scene and founded one of the oldest car clubs in Nagoya.
いろんな輸入のマガジンとか、海外を取材した日本のカーマガジンによって、そのローライダーっていうのが日本に少しずつ伝えられるようになったわけですよね。そっからもう文化が花開いたような感じで。
Junichi's been in this role for more than 30 years. For questions about lowrider culture and Chicano culture, he's someone who people in Japan really look up to.
車だけでなく、こう、なんていうんですかね、本当の、クルージングで聴くミュージックとか、からクロージングとか、やっぱり何より一番大事なのは、向こうのその人たちが好きで友達になろうっていう気持ちがないと、それはただのローライダースタイルの車をドライブしている人になって。
My first introduction to lowriders were actually people in my neighborhood.
I guess that was
my
on me.
best friend and I growing up. We used to build these little lowrider model cars. All we wanted to do in life was just own these lowrider cars. Being here has me thinking.
There should be sound. I don't get that.
Thinking about all of the cultures Japan has taken on at different points. So it's not surprising that there are thousands of people here that are into Chicano culture. For our next stop.
Anyway, yeah, there's Chicanos in Japan, or Chicano culture in Japan for sure. I've seen it in Thailand with my own eyes. I've seen it in Thailand with the dickies and the flannels, the fucking lokes, all starched out with their clothes. Thank you. Okay, then let's see the end of this real quick. Let's go to the end real quick of this. Then thanks, Bex, my Scorpio sister.
私は正直なところなくなると思う。私きっかけでチカーノっていう人たちがいるんやって知った若い世代の子は多くて、でもその子たちは私を真似して知ったわけで、本当のチカーノたちのライフスタイルを本当に好きな子っていうのは本当に数えれる数名しかいないです、日本では。
1、2、1、2、チェック1、2。
日本に生まれた意味が分からなくて、でもこのカルチャーに出会うことによって私は家族のを大切にする。
You call her China. It's funny that like I had my ex girlfriend. I used to live in a South Side Drive in San Jose, right by Seven Tree Crypt. She Annabelle. She used to look like that, but she was straight Mexican. So they called her China.
のカルチャーに出会うことによっ
She
て
was a cancer too.
私は家族のを大切にするのも分かったし、なんか愛とかだからなんか本当にこのカルチャーを知ったことで私は救われたと思ってる。
This story attracted me because it was asking a question about belonging. Here you had a group of people really committed to copying Chicano culture, but also deeply Japanese. And so for them, it wasn't a question of either or, but more so and.
It's my life, man. The hybrid culture. We're fusing all these things. Just like I can, like I enjoy astrology. Like we have the full moon in Sagittarius today. Today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about Venus. Today's show, let me see. Today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about Venus and Scorpio. I mean, we're what do you say, Shadow? You say, oh yeah, I know many women with that heavy eyeliner for sure, for sure. The Chinas out there, Chinas locas. Look at the Latina locas, Cynthia and the great Yolanda. The Philippines and northwest coast and they are proof of Spanish and Chinese Asians have blended cultures for hundreds of years. Absolutely, Bex. Bex, absolutely right with that one. Right on with that one. Yeah. Yep. You look at the movie Blade Runner, even talks about that phenomenon. When you look at the aesthetics, it's a fusion. The future is a fusion of Mexican and Asian, as well as a dilapidated Western society in there, in terms of like Euro-American society, all fused together. And yeah, man, it's a lot of complex issues going on. We want to get to the country legally. My parents, my great grandparents did it back in the day. They went on from Mexico to Texas to Southern California, all the way up to San Jose. Started the first Mexican grocery store in San Jose, California. Shout out to my great grandpa Jesus. But the reason why they fled is because his father was killed, and he was assassinated when he was the president of Mexico in the 1920s. By his homeboys, double crossed, right? And then they fled to Texas and into Southern California, and then, like I said, to San Jose, where I was born. But here's the thing: yeah, people are hurting. They need to feel safe, and this is why they do drastic things. So, respect to the people trying to take care of their family. What's up, Rahimza, who's taking care of her family? Good to see you. Jay Diary, sorry I'm late. You're in the bathroom, dropping them bombs, Long Beach style. I heard that. So the Venus and Scorpio Machiavelli is the thing. It's the thing we're doing today. How to win in your love, in your life, without selling your soul. You know, that's important. And we're all here today. We're diving deep into Venus and Scorpio. When I talk about these planets and science, just think about these characteristics more than anything. And when I'm talking about Venus and Scorpio, which I have in my chart, I'm thinking about obsession. Calvin Klein, obsession. I'm thinking about seduction, emotional X-ray vision, and power moves that are wrapped in velvet. You know, but we're gonna flip the script today, and we're pairing it with Machiavelli. Yes, Machiavelli, that's that political mastermind who wrote The Prince and understood how to move in a world full of snakes that are unbalanced. I love snakes. Here are the snakes. But we're talking about those snakes that bite you for no reason. So grab your charts, everybody, your iced coffee, whatever you drink, and maybe your ex's password, because we're about to get strategic in love in life. Let's go. I have to say Venus is the planet of love, beauty, money, and attraction. But when Venus moves into Scorpio, we're not talking about that cute, flirty vibes. We're talking about deep desire. What else? Hidden motives, and ride or die passion. And it involves a love that feels like a chess match with El Diablo, the real El Diablo, the devil. Scorpio doesn't do small talk. We don't like casual vibes. It wants intensity and control and emotional truth at all costs. So during when that transit does come along, or if you have that in your chart, everybody's a little bit more passionate, a little bit more psychologically sharp and intuitives about people's real motives. Damn right, low-key suspicious. Does that sound Machiavelli? Right? We're just getting started because what is the Machiavelli attraction? I think it's important to know that Prince, he wasn't a prince, but he wrote the Prince Machiavelli, wrote this book for the Medici family in 1500s, and it was a manual on how to keep power in a messy, unpredictable world. And it wasn't about fake positivity. He said things like, it's better to be feared than loved. And if you want to be both, it's not going to happen. You might as well choose fear. And whether you agree on this or not, the rules of attraction are strategic and not romantic. And so let's see what this homeboy has to say about Machiavelli rules of attraction. Now, Benjamin, this isn't the end all be all. Take what you will from this and use it. And stuff that doesn't resonate with you, throw it away.
There are two kinds of men in this world. The first one tries to earn love. He texts first. He compliments. He plans. He pleases. He does everything by the book. And still, she pulls away. Not because he wasn't kind, but because kindness without power doesn't create obsession. It creates comfort. And comfort doesn't last. The second kind of man is different. He doesn't run after attention. He doesn't explain his worth. He becomes the gravity that makes her orbit. He doesn't win her by performance. He draws her in by presence. Quiet, focused, grounded, and without saying a word, he stays in her mind long after he leaves the room. What separates these two men? It's not money, looks, or luck. It's traits, invisible traits, subtle, strategic, psychological signals that most men ignore, but that high-value men master without effort. In this video, you're not just going to learn how to attract women. You're going to understand why some men become unforgettable, even when they say nothing.
Yeah, it seems like more is less. There's something to be said about keeping your intentions hidden. You know, I heard Alan Watts say it before. You don't want to put those things out there, just because somebody might put too much doubt in your head, and you might not follow through with what your plans are.
You'll discover the 5 traits that make a woman emotionally addicted to your presence. And you'll learn how to embody them with calm power and strategic clarity. If you stay until the end, this won't just change how you talk to women. It will change how women feel when they're around you. Because once you understand how real masculine energy moves, you don't chase, you don't explain, you don't ask to be chosen. You become the man she can't unsee, the one her mind replays, the one her body remembers. Let's begin. Trait 1. Emotional control that commands respect. Most men think showing emotion means being real. They think that if they open up, explain how they feel, and react with passion, women will appreciate the vulnerability. They won't. Because obsession doesn't come from emotional exposure. It comes from emotional control. A woman doesn't get obsessed with a man who reacts. She gets obsessed with a man who feels, but never flinches. Machiavelli believed, the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Meaning this, the man who rises above emotion and acts with clarity, while others drown in feelings, becomes the one who leads, the one who lasts. The fool collapses, then reflects. The wise man sees through the chaos and moves first, calmly, strategically. Here's how this plays out in real life. She gives you attitude. She says less, delays her replies, questions your tone. She wants to see if you'll lose control. Most men do. They send long messages with cringe emojis sometimes. They overtalk. They try to solve something that isn't even a problem yet.
Yeah, putting their foot in their mouth. Been there, done that. And yeah, I would say literally no one thinks like that. Obviously some people do. Maybe you don't, but the masculine, wait, Machiavelli, he was a Taurus. That's right. Yeah. He was, yeah. Yeah. I don't think this is necessarily about becoming a villain, but it's about moving with emotional intelligence. I mean, when you do that, you have this quality that's almost like magnetic. They see the depth to you, not so much the surface level things. You're giving your true essence a chance to maneuver. You don't put your foot in your mouth so much.
But the high-value man, he doesn't fight the fire. He contains it, without letting it burn him. Here's a powerful move you can make right now. Next time she pulls back, don't lean forward. Don't question her mood. Don't adjust your posture to fit her energy. Instead, return to your mission. Train, build, focus.
Yeah, man. Always be I mean, this is not just love strategy. You could use this in terms of just dealing with acquaintances and whatnot. And because if you're focused on your wadeen, your purpose in life, what really moves you, what you're here to do, I mean, all this other stuff is secondary. Don't get me wrong. I think it's very important eventually to find to meet up with someone that you can love and they can love you and have a family, and then you can go that mode of evolving your consciousness. However, until then, like, always work on your becoming better and better. And distractions are everywhere. Let people earn your inner world. That's when I think of Venus and Scorpio. I think about that and then respect your privacy and your values. And Machiavelli in The Prince, he says, never revere your full hand.
Let her see that your emotional state is untouchable. Because the man who doesn't chase after peace becomes the peace she chases.
What do you say? Act disinterested to the point of seeming gay? No, I mean that's funny what you said, but obviously not. You gotta. This is the thing. These are just tenets to look to. However, you need to use your own water, as we say, your own style and swag, your own unique way of doing things. Adding to it's like when you make a recipe in the Betty Crocker cookbook, you're gonna add stuff. If you have some flavor to your life, you're gonna add a little bit of spices here and there, or take something away and add something. Of course, you're not gonna just be so disinterested that she doesn't know you, that you are even interested. It's like what we said. You gotta use. I mean, we're talking pills in a sense. The red pill, blue pill, black pill. I mean, whenever's appropriate. Act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Act accordingly with these things. And these are all actually like acting disinterested and stuff. These are mainly female strategies in the postmodern woman. A lot of them that females have mastered, women have mastered, and it's just men doing these things with their masculine, I guess, sensibility. What makes it different? This is true. Most women don't like it when a guy's extremely sensitive, vulnerable, and angry, and complaining from the start when they first meet on a date. It can be a lot to handle and digest. Yeah, because as it is, she's probably just like any person, male or female, she's going through things, and she doesn't want you to unload all your bickering and problems. I mean, in a sense, that's what you're there for, especially in the beginning. You know, find out what she likes and add on to that. You know, and I'm sure if she's a reasonable person, she'll try to find out about you. You know, what's going on, Ragamuffin? Good to see you. Voltaire, on the other hand, had one of my favorite philosophies. He was a Scorpio. Well, that makes sense. What's going on, Hank? Women aren't chasing after men they don't see. Yeah, sure. Come on, guys. You got to be seen, man. Yeah. Maybe it's a Scorpio thing. I find it easy when I was out and about that like I can make myself invisible, but then when I want to, I can be like make myself, what I feel anyway, have you look at me, want to look at me, or pay attention to me. It's like push and pull, man. We can't be stagnated. We gotta have like different ways to move. Thank you, Hank.
Thank you all. Your love has broken the curse and freed my soul. I'll never have to kill again. Really?
What's up, Joe Cool? Good to see you.
Let's go deeper. Because the next trait doesn't create respect. It creates obsession.
I say just stop worrying about what women want. It's who said anybody's worrying? Nobody's worrying. Just being aware from time to time what women want. That's what you do when you have a relationship. You check in with each other. I want a relationship, right, from time to time. Like I said, the top priority, Ben, and everyone else that's following along, gang, is to work on yourself and your passions in life. And everything else will fall into place. But don't be so with your head up your culo or your ass that you miss out on a great romantic opportunity. You know, some of us we love to engage with the opposite sex. You know, that's what men and women are here to do. A lot of the times.
Something far more dangerous.
What you want the link?
Trait 2, mystery that fuels her imagination.
That's good, Dennison.
What you don't reveal is more powerful than what you explain. Predictable men feel safe, but they're forgettable. Mysterious men, they haunt her thoughts. They live in her imagination long after they've left the room. That's not about being distant or cold. It's about being unreadable in a world full of men who overexpose themselves. Machiavelli once wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." He didn't mean you should be fake. He meant, let them see just enough to believe, but never enough to control. Because when a woman thinks she fully knows you, she categorizes you. But when she feels something and can't quite explain why, that's when obsession begins. Picture this.
Calvin Klein, obsession. Being mysterious is pretty amazing. Dennis Shadow Buddha says, Dennison, as a fellow INTJ, we have to always be intuitive in thinking, even when it comes to the opposite sex. Yeah. What is Dennison? I found out I don't have to do shit, and it freed me from the cycle of pain. My pain. I could not help feel your pain. My pain. Share it with me. It runs deep. Yeah. Oh hell yeah! What do you want the link? But what do you got to offer? Here, your tryout, Cage. I just want to say Gage. Gage is in the chat. What do you want? What do you have to offer about this topic? All right. How do you make women obsessed with you?
She texts you, What are you doing tonight? The average guy answers like,
Yeah, I'll probably drop the link for a couple minutes before I pimp off.
a resume.
Patient
Not
grasshopper.
much. Gonna watch Netflix, grab some food, maybe hit the gym. He thinks he's being open, but what she sees is predictability, simplicity, nothing to chase. Now here's what the magnetic man does. He answers, got a few things lined up. What about you? Just vague enough to be real. Just focused enough to be intriguing. And in that moment, something sparks.
Let's see, like when somebody you're on a date or just talking to a woman, even on some of the panels, some men, they do like a interrogation when they're trying to get to know the woman or interview or whatnot. I get it. There might be like a sense of interview-ish trying to find out, but use some water, like I said, use some fluidity, be fluid with your riz and the way you try to be attractive. Because in the end, I would say if you're not going to be attractive, at least don't be unattractive. You know, if you're trying to get, you know, trying to spend some time with a woman.
Her mind starts filling in the blanks because mystery doesn't confuse her. It activates her. Here's a subtle but powerful shift you can make right now. Say less than.
Yeah, you said women make better friends from me, sex and romance rooms. Yeah, I could see that happening for sometimes, definitely. But I think the whole reason, one of the reasons why I met wanted to pursue my wife, or keep the party going in our relationship, was because the sex, not to be crass, but the sex was so good, and that was a big part of our relationship. I mean, still is, but like that mixed with her being like a sweet person, I mean, that was the icing on the cake.
You know, reveal less than you feel. Let your actions imply more than your words reveal. You don't do this to play games. You do it because your life is already full of purpose, and she's just beginning to orbit it. Because when a man stays composed, focused, and slightly unreadable, she doesn't chase answers. She chases you. Let's move on. Because even mystery needs something deeper underneath. And that's where the next trait comes in. The one that separates attention from true respect. Trait 3, unshakable emotional frame, especially in social dynamics. There's a hidden power most men ignore until it's too late. It's not in how you treat her, but in how you carry yourself around others. See, women don't just fall for how you treat them in private. They get obsessed by how you move in the world, especially when eyes are on you.
My wife told me that early on. It's like, and it was something that she didn't like. Actually, I did. Usually people say like, "Oh, I like the way she is because she was nice to the server or the attendant at the movie theater, the usher." When like somebody can be great with you, but if they're a dick to other people, that's kind of a red flag. That's something to be like, oh, okay, I see how you are. Yeah.
It's not about being the loudest. It's about being the most centered. Machiavelli believed, there is nothing more important than appearing to have great qualities, even when you don't possess them.
Yeah, the optics, that's right. Panel verse 101. Shadow Buddha says, I doubt women like male Karen voice panel spurgs. Yeah, people like Tommy with that male Karen voice. There's a couple other ones too. That's pretty annoying. That definitely doesn't get them liquid. Doesn't get them wet. And you hear that male Karen, no bass in their voice. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Buddha. Appreciate that. Very generous, my friend. My brother from another.
My nigga.
Absolutely.
Because in politics, like in love, perception is power. Here's how this plays out in real life. You're with her at a dinner, or a party, or even just in public. A guy makes a passive-aggressive comment. The vibe shifts, tension rises. She turns to you, silently wondering, will he lose his cool or control the room? The average man responds emotionally. He tries to prove something. He overreacts. He seeks approval. She smiles to keep things polite, but inside her attraction dies. Now let's switch it up. You stay calm. You don't overtalk. You let the moment breathe. And when you finally speak, it's brief, direct, smooth. No flex, no panic, just presence.
Yeah, you don't have to give a laundry list of all your accomplishments, Ben. You know, and like you did this, and I have people that feel this way about me, and all that stuff. Let them figure that out, right? By by witnessing what you do. Okay, you don't have to dig yourself up, man. I mean, it's good for yourself personally. Take a moment to do the cookie jar, exercise like Dave Goggins says about like looking at what brought you to this moment and all the things that you've been through, and accomplish. But you don't need other people you don't need to tell people that. And yeah, and then number one too is stop giving your attention to people who don't deserve it. That's the big one. All right.
Here's your action step. In any room, especially when tension appears,
What's up,
don't
Wheels?
rush to defend. Don't react to every comment. Let silence work for you. Be the eye of the storm, not the noise around it. Because the man who commands social space without effort becomes unforgettable. Not just to her, but to everyone watching. Let's go deeper. Because the next trait doesn't just affect how she sees you, it controls how deeply she feels you, even when you're not around. Trait 4, controlled polarity. The masculine tension that triggers female obsession. Men who try to be soft to keep a woman close end up losing both their edge and her desire. Because women don't obsess over comfort. They obsess over contrast. The tension between your fire and your calm, your control and your mystery.
Yeah, and that tension, that polarity is definitely not because you're not going to be always available because you're all conquering and mastering you're in the action of your self-mastery. I'll put it like that. So you can't always be there for her, right? But when you are there, don't be a dick. Pay attention to her, and be thoughtful too. You know what I'm saying? I would say definitely don't reward bad behavior, but also reward good behavior.
Your strength and your silence. Most guys don't get this. They think showing emotion means crying with her, explaining everything, apologizing for every shift in energy. But here's the truth. A man who steps into her storm gets swept away by it. Machiavelli gave us the code centuries ago.
Let her go into your storm. I would add this caveat, Ben, too. Hey, every now and then, if you feel up to it, you're feeling dangerous, I mean, step into her storm, though. But hopefully she won't have so many storms because you're taking care of what you need to do, as the husband or whatnot, as the boyfriend. In a sense, you want to make it comfortable for her. In a sense, especially when you're married, I definitely do like it's awesome being the well, in this day and age you have to have two incomes for the most part, yeah, but it is nice to have your partner not worry about finances because you got that on lock. That way she's free to do her roles and her modalities that she feels comfortable in and whatnot. She ends up being a better wife in a lot of ways. Shadow Buddha says they obsess over looks, money, height, and status. Their ideally want a guy with all those qualities plus confidence. Yeah. In a sense, nowadays, I would say with the postmodern woman, you have to be a luxury. I mean, she already can take care of her rents and mortgages, and take herself on trips and stuff. But you're that luxury item as a man, that that she can't do without. If you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, she'll obsess over you.
It is necessary to be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten the wolves. In relationships, that means
and what does that mean?
This. You need the wisdom to sense emotional traps, and the power to hold your frame through them. Let's look.
That's when the stoicism comes into play. Definitely. Yeah. It links in the description. I mean, it links in the chat. As we go through this video. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, man. Salute, man. Good to see you. Yeah.
Look at how this shows up in real life. She gets triggered. She accuses you. She says you're distant, that you never open up. She cries. She yells. She says, "You don't even care." Now most men crumble right here. They apologize fast. They say anything to calm her down. Not because they're bad men, but because they don't understand polarity. But here's the problem. When you shrink in front of her chaos, she feels alone, not emotionally, but energetically. Because she doesn't want you to join her storm. She wants to feel your calm in the middle of it. So here's your move, starting now. When she's emotional, hold your center. Let her speak. Let her cry. Let her move through her waves. But don't match it. Don't explain your worth. Don't beg for peace. Say less. Breathe slower. Speak low and clear. Let her realize, in her own timing, that she's safe. Not because you folded, but because you didn't. Because when she feels your masculine stillness in the middle of her storm, that's when she starts to melt. Not from logic, but from instinct. And that instinct? It's the seed of obsession. Let's move to the final trait.
What was I saying right now? What I was muted. Oh, I was saying like when Hanky had this Jeremy Meeks comment. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's under Jeremy Meeks under the black pill. He's a good example they like to use for how looks sometimes a lot of times trumps status or being a nice guy. Right? He was the one that was a criminal and his mugshot went viral. But there are other people besides Jeremy Meeks and other celebrities like Tom Brady and Gazelle Maxwell and other people to look to like how to deal with relationship dynamics, right? There's normal people out there that have had decent and even good relationships. I mean, other people have told me, like they witnessed, have known me for years, like, hey, it looks like you have a good relationship. And as someone who's in that relationship, I have to say it's been good. Yeah. There's always ups and downs for sure, but I'm happy that I'm happy I'm with my wife and she's with me, and I have to say I'm always here if anybody has any questions, right? Because most people can do the theory about all this stuff, but do they actually have practice in different types of relationship? There are people who have practice as well as the theory. What's going on? What's going on? Good to see you, Cat. That's my homie. That's my homie.
My nigga.
Yeah, that's it. Shout out to Chris Lestrange in the Coomer crew over here. Is my wife American? Yeah, she's American. She was born in Taiwan, and then when she was 2 months old, she moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where given all the tea. Well, her father was a professor at the University of Pittsburgh, and she was raised there in America. Yeah. Yes, my wife is American. I met her in America. As I've said numerous times on this channel, at a Bikram yoga studio. And yeah, she very American. She very American, yes. Yeah.
The one that makes everything else last. Not just for a night, but for a lifetime. Trait 5. Non-attachment to outcome. The quiet power that makes her chase. The more you try to secure her feelings, the faster she questions them. Women don't become obsessed with the man who clings. They become obsessed with the one who can walk away and mean it.
It's true, man. That's one of your main superpowers as a man in a relationship, is walking away, just like it's hers too. Most men don't want to walk away, which I can understand, especially if you have children and houses and things invested, mutual things invested. But what's somebody gonna do? You can always walk. You ain't chained to a relationship. Cat, very gifted. 5 NPC the game memberships. Thank you so much. Very generous. That's 5. Fuck, man. That's yeah, that's dope. And you've already done like fucking, seems like 15. What a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Thank you very much.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much, Kat. You're awesome. Definitely awesome. She's a fucking good person. Excuse me. One of my favorites, the first story I heard of when she was telling, was over there on Chris Lestrange, and she was literally talking about her interesting situations as working in the ER at an American hospital. And like, dude, I got visions of Silence of the Lambs when Clarice went to go visit Hannibal Lecter, and a certain substance flew on her face from one of the cellmates. Yeah, shout out to Cat now.
Because obsession is never born from control. It's born from freedom. The feeling that you don't need her, and yet you still choose her. Machiavelli once warned, "He who builds on the people builds on mud." In modern relationships, that means this: if your confidence is built on her approval, your strength will collapse the moment she pulls back. Let's bring this to real life. You meet a woman you like. She gives you attention, energy, everything flows. Then one day, she changes. She texts less, acts distant, says she's confused. And now you feel the panic rise. You try harder. You explain yourself. You send long messages, hoping she'll understand. But here's what most men don't realize. The moment she senses you fear losing her, she loses interest. Now picture this instead. She says, "I don't know what I want anymore." And you reply, calm, steady, grounded. Take your time. I know what I want. I'll be fine either way. You didn't chase, you didn't fold, you didn't try to pull her back into orbit. And that shift in energy, it hits her deeper than 1,000 compliments. Because in that moment, she realizes something. You're not trying to win her. You've already won yourself. Here's a clear move to apply.
I have to say, these are absolutes. What he's dealing in, almost like a Sith Lord. A Sith Lord deals in absolutes. Yeah, these are absolutes. The way they're sharing it, I guess they make it hit harder. However, Benjamin, and whoever else wants to take advice, take this advice, you can mix in some, I guess how they say, blue pill of being like humble and compromising a bit in there. But know this is like from this video, the main theme of just being on your wadeen, your purpose, and your self-mastery as the number one thing, and everything else will fall into place. But then when you do engage with somebody you like, especially a woman, be kind to her for sure. Don't be a dick. But also remember, you have value as well. You have value as well, and she does too.
Apply starting now. Practice letting go of the result. If she texts back, great. If she doesn't, your life continues at full speed. No slowdown, no self-doubt, no emotional collapse. Make your standard this: I want you, but I'll never beg to be kept. Because the man who can stay composed when things get uncertain becomes the one she starts to crave with uncertainty. Let's wrap.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend begging. Right? Not a good look.
This up.
But you read the situation, what's best for you.
Because now you've got the full picture. And once you see how it all connects, you'll understand why these 5 traits aren't just for attraction. They're for total inner power. Now you understand the truth most men never grasp. Obsession doesn't come from chasing, proving, or performing. It doesn't come from flowers, compliments, or constant attention. It comes from something deeper, something that can't be faked, something she feels before she even tries to explain it. It's your energy. It's the way you walk into a room without needing to impress, the way you hold silence like a sword, the way your presence speaks before your words ever do. That quiet gravity, unshakable, unfazed, undeniable. Machiavelli never wrote about seduction, but he understood the nature of power, and obsession is power in emotional form. He taught us that control doesn't come from force. It comes from perception, from posture, from strategy. He taught us, men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone sees, but few understand. And that's what makes her obsessed. Not your actions, but the energy that makes her question them. Not your words, but the silence that follows them. Not your effort.
Yeah, let it breathe. Open up that bottle of wine and let it breathe.
But the sense of depth she can't decode. So remember this. Stay emotionally sovereign. Let no mood, no silence, no shift in her tone shake your inner stability. Build your mystery. Speak less. Reveal less. Let curiosity be your shadow. Prioritize your mission. Your path is sacred. Never detour for approval. Keep your polarity strong. Be the calm in her chaos, the edge in her softness. Let go of outcomes, but never your standards. Want her, don't need her, and never tolerate less than you deserve. Because once you embody these traits, not perform them, not pretend them, but live them, she won't just notice you. She won't just admire you. She'll feel you in her thoughts, in her body, in her silence, even when you're nowhere to be seen. And that That's how obsession begins. Not through seduction, but through presence. Not through noise, but through undeniable gravity. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be validated. You are here to be chosen. By life, by purpose, by women who recognize strength when they feel it. So stay sharp, stay grounded, stay sovereign. Because the man who becomes the storm is never afraid of the wind. One last message for those who truly want to change their life. For those who are ready to detach from the 99% and play a different game.
You want to play a different game, man. Yeah, so love and here's the equation, Ben and friends. Love plus life, I know equals power plus purpose. And this combo isn't just about seduction, it's about leveling up in all areas. In relationships, we talked about this earlier in the week. Stop giving your energy to people who don't deserve it. In business, Ben and friends, learn how to keep your moves silent until they're actually successful. And in your spiritual growth, realize that love starts with self-mastery. Because here's the thing, Machiavelli's wisdom without love becomes manipulation. And Venus and Scorpio without strategy becomes obsession. But together, they create a vision of you that's deep, I would say magnetic, and emotionally intelligent. And pretty much you're unshakable. Nothing's gonna phase you. And if it does, you're gonna ride the storm and come out with not one drop of water on you. So whether you're a Scorpio or a Leo, a Gemini, or a full-time skeptic, I would say this Venus and Scorpio transit I'm talking about, which I have, and some of you have, it's a gold mine for your growth if you use it right. And I'm going to give you some homework. Usually I don't give you homework, so here's your homework. Master the power of silence. Turn your passions into presence. And just don't fall in love. Build attraction through power and purpose. So drop a scorpion in the chat if you're ready to tap into your magnetic side and use this cosmic energy to move smarter, not harder. And next time, like we always do, we'll keep it deep, keep it real, and keep your love like strategic and but soulful, right? And so peace and passion and Pluto's favorite energy. We out, man. We got another comment. Gracie Grace says, I look at how long I was in a relationship versus leaving after putting time into another. How long I was in a relationship versus, yeah, that's an equation to be aware of for sure. Shout out to Patrick Bateman in the house, the hardest working financial forecaster in the metaverse. Love you, man. Shout out to Provo, the co-host of the NPC Awards 2025, 2024, and 25 in the house. My favorite streamer. He said, solid stream, NPC. Appreciate you. And as we pimp off, appreciate everyone being here. Shout out to my people in California. We want to get there. We want to get back, get to this country legally. But however, I understand, man, times is rough. Much love. And this is for La Raza.